this is our Agentic AI framework, and you can see, there are a bunch of agents created. So let's start with actually looking at the storyboard itself. So I'll show you the storyboard, which I showed you in the slide. And you can see this. This is an agent storyboard, which is telling a story about the agent and about the execution of the agent and the logical reasoning of that agent. So what does this do? So again, every 1 hour, it looks for syslogs with certain severity. It looks at the baseline. And if the syslog count has exceeded that baseline, then generate a ticket. And using that conversational phrase, the platform is able to create this task graph completely autonomously, along with the JSON code associated with it. And then each of these tasks is actually executing a task where it is querying stream, right? It's executing the LLM. The LLM is making a decision. It's querying stream again. It's going to the rule engine and it's running the pipeline. And then it is able to show you the operational stats. You can view the JSON here, right here. Okay, if you want to, you can execute the agent here. You can look at the observability metrics here as to what are the tasks by different types, right? When have they executed? What is the duration? So every heuristic is available to you to build up that explainability. Let's go back to another agent here, which I'll show you, which is the ACL change agent, which also we talked about, right? So again, similarly, you provided a conversational phrase, and it will actually create the task graph for you using the LLM as the decision maker. And then you can look at several different steps which are outlined here: stream query, LLM generator. Okay, look at, it looks at the, so you're giving it a conversational query. It needs to interpret that in terms of the IP addresses and so on and so forth. Okay, and then compare it with the golden database. Okay, to allow it what we call permit, deny, or default actions. Okay, so again, now let's go. So we saw the storyboard. Now let's look and see if we can, how do we execute an agent? So when you have to execute an agent, let's see, let's pick up an existing agent. So these are all the agents which we have. Let's pick up one agent and then look at, hey, there is a task graph already associated with it. Okay, you can obviously create a new task if you want to, but here we are trying to focus on executing this agent. And this agent, every 1 hour, it looks for syslogs. If the count is more than 50, check the hourly average. And if the count is more than last week, open a ticket, right? So let's execute this agent. Okay, and I'm saying execute this. Okay, and now we can go back and look at the activity here. I'm refreshing the screen to see, what it has created. It actually did create this incident, okay, at 4:56. So incident created, count of critical syslogs in the last hour is more than twice the hour. Okay, and you can then, look at it if you want more details around it. Okay, it has taken 15 seconds to actually create that, and so on and so forth. Okay, now if since there is already a ticket created, if I try to execute that agent again, it will tell me that ticket is already existing. Okay, so let's execute this one more time and see what happens. So you can see here it has actually created another ticket. Okay, because the count has gone over and above what we had specified. Okay, now let's look at another thing, which is, you want to add, say you want to add another agent. So you can come here and say, okay, well, I want to, let me create an agent myself. Okay, and you can give it a task, right? Let's call it an anomaly detection agent. So I'm giving it a conversational phrase and I'm saying, okay, well, create the agent for this particular task. And you'll see that it's creating the agent here. It says creating here. and it's created that agent. And now we can go and look at the task graph which it has created, okay, and the JSON associated with it. And you can add a task if you want to, right? Say you want, you look at the task and there are like four tasks. You can add another task which says task 5 and say, hey, what kind of task is this? Let's say, so the LLM, where the LLM is involved, you'll see a different color for that task where it shows a purple color. Let's say we want to do a run a pipeline task, right? And run a pipeline to calculate average alerts. Okay, and task on success, say if we say task 2, okay, and task on failure, we say task 4, right? We're just creating some kind of a logic and we say, okay, add a task. And now it has added that particular task. So you can see it added task number 5, right? And you can now click at it, okay, and then you can execute that, test it individually, right? Or you can revert it back and so on and so forth. So it's a very powerful capability, right? So you can test each and every step of that agent before you are actually launching it into production. So what we saw, just to summarize, we saw the agent storyboard. We saw how to execute an existing agent and look at the output of that agent. And we also saw how to create a new agent and a task.